Yes, using public chargers is not safe. Today, I'm going to tell you a real story. A story where a simple charger destroyed people's lives. You might have made this mistake before, but after watching this video, you may never do it again. Every day, thousands of people stop for a moment to charge their phones. At airports, malls, stations, cafes, completely unaware that something dangerous might be waiting for them. Last year, one particular charging station looked perfectly normal. Clean, brightly lit, free to use. People plugged in their phones without a second thought. They didn't know that this station had been silently tampered with. A trap set by someone who understood one thing very well. People trust convenience more than safety. In the next few days, dozens of people would lose their privacy, their money, and even control of their own phones. All because of this one charging point. Everything looked normal, but inside one of the charging ports, something very abnormal was waiting. The hacker had replaced a simple charging cable with a specially modified one. A cable that not only charged, but also copied data silently. This hidden device is known in the cyber world as a juice-jacking cable. It carries two things: power for your phone and access for the hacker. Each time someone plugged in their phone, a silent data transfer began. Photos, videos, contacts, passwords, emails, banking app data, everything. And the victim? They felt completely safe because their phone was charging normally. Within a few days, the first strange incidents started happening. People noticed their phones acting differently. Slight lag, apps opening on their own, battery draining faster, and messages appearing as read without being opened. These were tiny warnings, but nobody connected them to the charging station. Soon, the real damage began. Victims woke up to notifications of bank logins, transactions they never made, and emails they didn't send. And then, something even worse happened. Private photos and videos started disappearing from their phones. And then, the nightmare began. Victims started receiving emails. "We have your private photos and videos. Pay or they will be released." People were terrified. Some had family photos. Some had personal videos they never wanted anyone to see. This wasn't just hacking anymore. This was emotional torture. Some victims paid. Some begged for mercy. Some stayed silent, hoping it was fake. But the hacker was only getting started. By the time the victims realized what had happened, the hacker was already far ahead. Money was gone. Private photos leaked. And phones acted strange, as if someone else was controlling them. But none of this made sense to investigators. There was no malware, no phishing links, no suspicious apps. Days passed. Dozens more victims came forward. And then one digital forensic expert noticed something strange. All victims had visited the same place at different times, on different days, but they all plugged their phone into one exact charging station. That's when the investigation took a dark turn. When investigators opened the charging station, they expected a loose wire, maybe a small hardware fault. But what they found was far more sinister. Behind the clean plastic cover was an entire hidden system. Modified USB ports, micro data extraction chips, a device that copied complete phone data in seconds. It wasn't just hacked. It was rebuilt, transformed, engineered for theft. And the most terrifying part? The device didn't just steal photos and banking data. It copied everything. Call history, messages, saved passwords, even access to cloud backups. This wasn't a simple hack. It was a digital weapon disguised as convenience. The hidden device had one more secret. It wasn't storing data. It was transmitting it in real time. A tiny signal, almost impossible to detect, but just strong enough for investigators to trace. When the cyber team followed the signal, it led to an abandoned storage unit on the outskirts of the city. No one knew what was inside. No one knew if the hacker was armed. But they didn't have time. Police moved in, quiet, coordinated, ready. When they opened the storage unit, they weren't prepared for what they saw. Dozens of hard drives, hundreds of stolen photos, cloned phones arranged in rows, multiple hacked cables, and logs of bank accounts. It was a full cybercrime factory, but the hacker had vanished. He escaped just minutes before the raid, but in his hurry, he made one mistake, and that mistake would finally expose him. The hacker thought he erased every trace, every log, every signal, every clue. But he didn't realize that the one cable he left behind was custom-made. It carried a unique hardware ID, and that ID matched only one device, one laptop, one person. Investigators ran the ID through city surveillance records, days of footage, hundreds of people, and then he appeared. A man using a modified cable in a cafe, plugging into a wall port. Careful, but not careful enough. He was wearing a cap, glasses, trying to hide his face. But the camera caught one small detail, a mark on his wrist. That was all the police needed. They tracked him across multiple cameras, every street, every corner, every step. And when he entered a quiet alley, the police moved in. In seconds, he was surrounded. He carried more than 200 modified cables in his backpack, each designed to hack a phone in seconds. The case was finally solved.